Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. This is John and
Jenna,
from Flippin' Ain't Easy. And
happy birthday to you.
she decided that she was going to decorate. I wasn't really for it, but hey, that's what it is. If you've been on this earth as long as I have, and I'm sure some of you have been on here longer, you guys know what I'm talking about. It's just like another day. So with that said, wanted to wish you guys a happy belated Thanksgiving. Hopefully you guys had an excellent time with family and friends. Hopefully we had our family over. We didn't do the turkey thing like you guys know. I think we talked about that last week. We did some tamales, some chicken, and some beef tamales.
Brisket.
Yeah, beef brisket. So
good.
Yeah, so we didn't do the traditional thing, but it was still good nonetheless. And then, we spent time with family and friends. So that was a challenge because I was still working behind the scenes. Like Saturday, people sleeping in at the house. We had everyone over. And so I just snuck out.
They don't sleep in.
Yeah, well, I got up before everyone else did and went to the yard sale. So, and believe it or not, we still had 40-degree weather here and we had yard sales. So, it was pretty interesting. Picked up a few things, but nothing life-changing, that's for sure. Now, as far as just today's topic, I just kind of want to know, what your sales are looking like. How were your sales over this last weekend? Let's just say Thursday through yesterday. And I ran a Black Friday sale, 30% off. And honestly, I mean, I had the same amount of sales as I normally do on a normal weekend. So I don't know if that's because, in my opinion, I think there's a lot of really good sales on Black Friday that were going on, anywhere from electronics to clothing to, well, maybe not clothing, but electronics to housewares, things like that on Amazon, Walmart. They all had some pretty deep discounts. And I'm just wondering if a lot of the consumer dollar was being spent on those things. And then, we're here trying to move our items. Maybe you guys had a great weekend. I don't know. Just trying to put it out there to get a feel as to, last year I could tell you that I really didn't have to run a whole lot of sales. I remember the Black Friday weekend, I just ran my regular promotion, my coupon, and my markdown sale. And I think I did pretty well. I had a really good month of November last year. And while the numbers are telling me that my sales are good, they're not anywhere close to where they were last November. And I want to know how you guys are doing and what your thoughts are on that. And moving forward, we talk about what's your plan moving forward. And the video I put out earlier in the week, talking about, really, there's a couple paths, in my opinion, moving forward that will help sellers succeed. And I think that is scaling quality items, no cheating and buying and scaling with $5 and $10 items if you have $20 items in your store, scaling the same type of items that you have, or just continuing to maintain the size of store that you have, but adding more ASP, average sale price, to your store. Now, there are some people in the comments who thought I was being condescending and this, that, and other thing. But you know what? Sometimes we just need just a dose of reality. And I might be wrong, 100% wrong. I'm only giving you my perspectives when I put these videos out, based on not only what I'm dealing with, what I'm seeing, but there's a lot of people that you guys don't even see that reach out to me behind the scenes on Instagram and on through email, and they want me to look at their stores. And I'm talking, really, the message was really to those folks who continually send me requests to look at their stores, and I don't mind doing that. But the hard reality is that a lot of these people really need to change in a big way. And a lot of these stores that people are asking me to look at are usually under 200 listings. So you're not even really big enough to even say, hey, why are my sales so slow? Because you just don't have enough items in your store. And the items you have are like $5 and $10 items. And so you're not going to see a whole lot. And if you're only listing a couple items a day, why would you expect to have 5 to 10 sales a day? So that's kind of where that video is coming from. And again, I hope you guys are in tune with, a lot of just news on the economy, because every good and bad piece of information about the economy will eventually affect you if you're a reseller. And I just think sometimes we don't want to deal with all that. We just want to focus on what we can control. I get that. But at the end of the day, just being aware of what can affect your business, because if we're running into a big downturn, which we have been, do you go out and buy large quantities of stuff to resell? Do you adhere to what I was saying? Want to keep building? Because in my opinion, if you're only getting half the sales now with 1,000 item store, if you make it 2,000 with the same items, I mean, in theory, if it's the same type of item, you're not cheating, and it's very close to the same quality of item that you currently are selling. Does that give you an extra 30, 40, 50% in volume, that or actually should be higher than that in sales than what you're experiencing now? And so just trying to put out ideas out there to everyone, because doing the same thing is just not the right thing to do, in my opinion, because you have to be able to adjust when the market changes, and the market's changing. The same type of item that was selling a couple of years ago at a premium is still selling, but maybe not as well. So you need to be in tune with that, especially if that's the type of item you're used to selling. So that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you guys today about. I'm hopeful that, the slow sales that I've experienced this weekend was because of the great sales, and I didn't have a lot of good sales today. So I'm hopeful that that's an extension of Cyber Monday. And then come tomorrow, when things get back to normal, people are looking for deals. They can't find them on the brick and mortar websites, and so they're going to gravitate to eBay. And that's what we're going to be here to hopefully, absorb that. So I want your thoughts and your comments down below. Let me know what you think on that. I might be totally off base, but you know what? I think in my videos and this forum here, where we talk and we chat for an hour and a half, it just gives everyone sort of a platform to air out their ideas, and whether they're right or wrong, we're here to kind of correct each other. And I think that's kind of cool. But, no one knows the future. I can only just put out what I hear and what I think could happen. So we have Prosser Independent Trading Company in the house, Bling Bling Factor Australia, Emporium, etc. Jim is in the house. Picky Ricky is in the house. Art Betzold, Kina, GA Mountain Girl is in the house. Callie Debs, Jovial Juggler, Shinville General, No One Design 2, Tegan Germshed is in the house. SMP Postcards, or SM Postcards, Ping G, Tiffany M. Law, Ed the Reselling Writer, and KB Flips, and Michael Biddle, Biff Boffo,
Picky
and
Ricky.
I already said Picky Ricky.
Oh.
Blithering Rando, just like give all the shouts out. Savage Picker, Steph Mo, Kevin Hawthorne, Biscuit Butt, Semper Fi, Disgruntled Octopus, Gail Carson. It's Wargasif R, and I don't know how to pronounce that, but I'm going to keep mispronouncing it because I just don't know any better. And Barbara Teresa Rhiannon's Realm, Victor Wawiorka. So thanks, guys, for being here with us today. And, you could be doing a lot. This is really the end rush of Q4. I'd say the next, probably the 14th ish of the month is probably the last real push. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe a few more days beyond that, but you're going to have your last minute shoppers, I guess, that are going to want to push you for shipping before Christmas because they failed to buy their items in a timely manner. But hopefully it gets busy. Hopefully the whole month is busy. But historically, like the last week of Christmas is kind of slows down for me.
But January, we usually still have a pretty good.
Yeah, it picks up. People get get money for Christmas or gift cards, things like that, and then they go and they spend it. And I noticed that the first week of January is probably kind of slow as an extension of Christmas and New Year's, but then it starts to pick up. Let's see. Picky Ricky says, not one flaming sale for me on Black Friday. It's like eBay switched me off for the day. Then I go and sell 10 yesterday, about $200. eBay is a roller coaster. Yeah, it can be a roller coaster, but this one, my roller coaster is not much. There's not much action in it. It's pretty low, and
it's a roller coaster I would ride.
Yeah.
I don't like roller coasters.
Well, it started off good. It's saying that I have a great month, but it's been the first part of November that really has supported us. This last week has just not been very good at all. So let's see who we got any kind of comments or questions. Now we try to do this program for, an hour and a half, but your comments and questions really drive the program. So if you're here with us, please do me a favor, comment, put your questions in the chat, help me get through the hour and a half, because really I don't have a whole lot more to talk about. I have been putting together some videos and stuff, but I really don't want to talk about stuff like that on the live unless the topic comes up. If you're watching us after the fact, sorry you couldn't make it. Please do me a favor and, like I said, comment. But no matter how you decide to watch this, please just hit the like button. That's kind of all we ask. That it helps the algorithm, put it out to other people who might like.
Doesn't matter. Algorithm is an algorithm.
Yeah. Even the thumbs down that I tend to get a lot, even on these videos. On most of my videos, I get maybe 3-4% thumbs down. And you know what? Unfortunately, I'll just put it out like this. I think I come out and I make videos or I talk about stuff, and it's kind of just the way it is. I get looked at sideways sometimes when I come out with stuff that is just to the point and real and hard hitting sometimes. And it's like, that's just real. This is real. It's reality. And, when we talk about making changes to your business, people come at me with their feelings. Well, guess what? I don't care. Your business doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about your feelings. Your customers don't care about your feelings. So you either detach your feelings from your business results, or you're going to be missing the boat. And there's a lot of people thinking that that's condescending talk. Hey, I got a lot of adjusting to make on my end. I got a lot of restructuring and things that I need to do. I'm dealing with slow sales myself. And so I'm in the midst of trying to figure it all out, just like many of you guys are. But the one thing I won't do is, put on this happy face like, oh, everything's great. Everything's great. You have other bigger channels coming out saying, hey, sales are slow. Guess what? It's not just me. It's not just you. It's everyone. And I think if you fail to look forward and just keep looking backward, then that's part of the problem. So that's kind of why I put the videos out that I do.
People don't like to hear the hard truth. They only want to hear all the happy and the positive.
Why do you? Right.
Life isn't always happy-go-lucky, and especially in this business.
I think sometimes when we tune into these channels, we want to hear good news. And of course, I want to hear good news too. But
I would love to hear good news every day, all day long.
But good news is just not. I mean, someone said, well, this is
real.
Someone said this is just, the interest rates are back to where they were and things are all fine and dandy. Well, you might say that now. How are you going to feel next year when it's not the same? It's even worse, like some economists are talking about. And, again, I hope I'm 100% wrong. I do. I will love it if I'm wrong, but it's not looking great. My Q4 hasn't been so hot. I had a good run about 3 weeks. End of October, early November, and it's just been kind of blah. And it is what it is. So I just want to hear your feedback and what you guys think, because I mean, one guy on eBay that's not having a great time may not be the norm. It might be a lot of you that are killing it. So like to know what you're doing here.
They're talking in the thing. Go up.
I'm trying to look for some. Let's see. So No One Design says, been a busy holiday weekend. So that's good. Good to hear that. Let's see. Sorry, guys. Just looking at a lot of comments. But Picky Ricky said, John, maybe ask myself if I'm going to make it from this last video. Yeah, I mean, look, I think a lot of people need to look at it like that. I mean, I made the video. I'm asking myself, am I going to make it in 2023 in reselling? Am I going to be that YouTuber that doesn't sell on eBay like there are some right now? I won't go into it, but am I going to be that eBay channel that doesn't even sell on eBay? I mean, I don't think that'd be kind of ridiculous, but I mean, how are sales going to be? Am I going to have a garage full of shoes? From I do know that shoes tend to sell well in the spring and the fall, and maybe I'm just have a lot of merchandise that I picked up kind of at the wrong time. I'm happy to have it. I've been looking at some pallets. I might
don't think
do
you
that.
can pick it up at the wrong. Yes, you might pick it up on the not the time of the season for that, but you hold on to it and eventually it's going to sell.
Right.
I mean, there's not every product's going to be you list it sells. Yeah. It doesn't always work that way.
We've been selling about one pair a day, I'd say on average is what we've been selling.
Which
we're adding more.
Things have been going, I'll take that. I mean, sure, I wish it was more,
but I guess what I'm saying is we're spending a lot of time on these shoes and we're getting that result when really I should be focusing more on the stuff that historically has sold, like your hard goods, electronics, and things like that. And so I am looking at other pallets, other opportunities to source. And, instead of thinking, wow, I got all these shoes and, get them up. I mean, we probably have, I'd say 20% of them up of the shoes that we have. So, I mean, we're making progress there, but it's just not.
We made progress. They're not in the room anymore.
Well, that's because we had company over too. We had company that were crashing in here. So we had to get those shoes in tubs and stack them in the garage, and we made it work. But yeah, so that's kind of my story. Now, Ed's saying that sales were bad on eBay, only 2 sales, and had 5 sales on Poshmark. And Poshmark's been spotty for me.
We don't get Poshmark I mean, our eBay sales way outnumber Poshmark.
Yeah.
You guys are killing it on Poshmark. We just can't get it to get that way.
No One Design 2 says happy birthday. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you, everybody, for the birthday wishes. Biff Boffo says my November is tracking 27% above last November. That's awesome. Good. Love to know just in general what kind of items that you sell. Maybe I've asked you that before, but just curious for the sake of the discussion. Tegan says my last week's sales were really good. No sales on Sunday though. Probably about 10 sales Wednesday through Saturday. And I'm not saying I haven't sold anything. I mean, I have a full Santa bag full of stuff. I think I've sold about 20 items. But really, and that's from Friday evening on through Sunday. I think I had quite a bit. We're talking another 15, 16 items from Thursday through Friday. But we're talking small sales. We're talking most of the sales are under $20. And while that's bread and butter for many people, you need to do that on a larger scale. My average sale price is usually higher than that. And so, maybe it's because of the massive discounts that I've provided. 30% off is nothing to sneeze at. But I just kind of wonder, what would my sales have looked like had I not provided that 30% discount? Yeah, I would have maybe made more per item, but I would have made less sales. KB Flips says sales good when I'm in front of the computer working. Took a few days off and got 0. Yeah, you got to keep that consistent activity with eBay. Callie Deb says I didn't buy anything in stores. I only bought from other resellers. My sales were decent. Okay. And maybe that's what other people are doing. Maybe other people are just, aside from the madness of the Black Friday sale, there's other things that maybe aren't on sale that they need, and then they come and buy it off of eBay. So I'm hopeful that once these really deep discounted sales are done from the retailers after today, then things will kind of normalize and we'll get serve our traffic back. Maybe that's just wishful thinking, but
wasn't last year right for Black Friday and Cyber Monday, wasn't it a little slow?
No, it was pretty. I thought it was pretty good.
I thought we were.
I remember it being pretty good.
I thought it was slow.
Picky Ricky says, I sold 1,800 pounds last November with a rubbish store. This year with 7 times more value and much better store. I've done 400 pounds less than last year. I'm not happy at all.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I guess my thing is, it seems like you're really vested in your store. You just ride it out. That's what I'm going to do. Ride it out. I'm going to treat it like a slow summer, like we had this last summer. And the summer before that was pretty slow, where we just use it as an opportunity. The time I'm not spending shipping, I'm just listing. I'm getting more items up, building the store. And I kind of don't want to be a store builder, but at the same time, you know, it's one of those things where I get more items up, get more items with the same type of items or similar value and demand up in my store. And then if things normalize, or once they normalize, then you know, I'll have a large variety of items for people to buy from, and you know, just kind of have to ride through it. So it may be rough, but I'm just going to keep riding this, you know, riding the wave. Michael Biddle says, "Hi John, happy birthday! I had okay sales on Black Friday." And you know, one person's okay sales is another person's like, wow, it's, you know, just horrible. Or it might be a great day. It's all perspective. Ping G says, I had 5 sales between Friday and Monday, didn't run any sales, just promoted listings at 3%, but didn't promote any of these listings that actually sold. So you had items that weren't in high demand, but you happen to have the right buyer come along. Biff says, my last week was 7% below on average week. Black Friday is not for eBay. And I think you're right, especially when good sales are out there. You know, people are going to spend their money on to get value. You got great value out there. You got people buying really good stuff. I haven't bought stuff on Black Friday, so you know, not on eBay, off of eBay through like Amazon and Walmart. Blithering Rando, this is my first Black Friday weekend. I did good, shipped more from 2 days than I usually do. Still sold a few things today too. Awesome. Ed says, happy birthday. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Prosser says, John's last video is basically on we have to hold ourselves accountable. It is. You know, I think a lot of people, and we've talked about this on other videos as well, a lot of people, they leave their 9 to 5 thinking that this is just vacation land. And, you know, they go out and have fun buying the stuff. And then, you know, they can list a handful of items and the money just can be rolling in. You know,
it's not a quick... No. Get rich quick.
Not at all. Not at all. Savage Picker says, hello all. Sales have been decent and normal. Ran sales to the weekend. I would say sales haven't seen a tick up. I did score some great German ornaments that I'm trying to quickly list. Yeah, I got to get those up. I mean, I'm even starting to think a lot of those toys that, I mean, the toys that I've sent into Amazon, was showing Jenna that I think they did pretty well. We still have a lot of toys in stock that we send into Amazon, and that, you know, we're outselling with a little bit of stock that I sent into Amazon. We're actually outselling the toys we have on eBay. And so the stuff I didn't send into Amazon, I may either send them into Amazon or just run, you know, really low price sales on this merchandise before Christmas just to move it, because we're into these items for about what, 75 cents to $1 a piece for these toys. And I just kind of want to move on. I don't want to carry toys over to the beginning of the year, rather clear out that for other kind of stock. Biscuit Butt, happy birthday, bro. Thanks, Archie. I appreciate that. Picky Ricky says, I know I redonated 22 DVDs last week that I know will never sell. I moved away from such low value items this year anyways as I grow. I agree.
That's what we're trying to do.
We have some in our store, but those are starting to sell slowly but surely, but you're not making much off of those. Ed says, you can use my store as an example if you like, John. I would like your opinion on it. Well, I wasn't.
Are you sure?
Well, I really asked for it. I reached out to Ed on Instagram and I said, hey, you know, you sell a lot of shoes. I'd just like to see what your store, what you're doing. You know, he has a lot of items in his store, about 2,000 items in his store. And I commend him for really, if you have over 1,000 items in your store, you're really,
because he has a full-time job.
Yeah.
And he's doing this, and he's got kids and a family, and See, it can be done.
Right. And so the fact that he has dedication to getting his items listed, and that's the good news. The not so good news is, I believe I saw last 90 days was like 110 sales, and that's just not a good ratio for having that many items in the store. And what I had asked Ed, I said, Ed, what can we do? And just reaching out to him that, what moving forward, what's the kind of the plan? I didn't check and see his response. I just haven't been on Instagram, so he might have replied already. Maybe he could share that in the heck, I don't know. I don't care. I don't want my phone. It's not like I'm making a sale or anything. Maybe it's probably in the garage. I was listing in the garage, and it's probably in there. So you won't hear any cha-chings from me if I get cha-chings, because I don't have my phone in here with me. But maybe he can reply in the chat and just kind of give me an idea, or all of us an idea, what his plans are going forward. I really just wanted to see how he presented his shoes and stuff, and just get an idea. I think sometimes when we're selling a certain kind of item, like, we have all these shoes, and I'm not used to selling a lot of shoes, it's good to gravitate towards sellers who sell that kind of item, to get an idea how they, photograph their shoes, how they in their item description, how they describe their shoes, how they price their shoes. And you can use that example for any kind of item out there. If you're niche, you're niching. And I guess that's what I'm kind of doing, is niching out without really doing that, because I have still other things that I'm selling.
Tommy says, go ahead and roast his store. Not roast. We don't roast anyone here.
No, I mean, you know what? I don't want to roast his store. I'm surprised he even said, hey, share what you think here on the live. I mean, I don't.
Ed works really hard.
He does. I mean, I commend him for doing that. So now, how do we get, if there's any one thing I can maybe think of, Ed, if I had to say what struck me looking at a lot of your listings, it seems like you might be a little on the high side with your prices. That's the really only thing I said to Jenna not last night, but the night before, whenever I looked at it.
Was last night.
And I said, yeah, it just seems like his prices are a little on the high side. So I don't know. What
just in comparison to the market is, because I asked him, he said, wow, I think this one's kind of high. And I said, did you look up the comps? And he said, I'm doing that right now. And when he did, he looked at the same ones you were selling from another seller and various sellers that have sold, and they were much lower. So I mean,
so I don't, maybe that's the answer there, but really the store didn't look bad. It was okay. Just, moving forward, I think, I talk about this topic, a lot of videos, where we just have to look at really every aspect of our listing. And sometimes it could be one thing. We could be doing everything right. The photos are perfect. Maybe our pricing is wrong. Maybe we have good prices,
Tommy agreed.
But maybe it looks like we just ran the 100-yard dash past their item and took a photo. And then we wonder, well, why am I not making any sales? I'm priced competitively. And, I had one person reach out to me, and I gave him honest feedback. And she kind of came back with like, wow, people have told me that my stuff looks good and my photos look good. And it's like, hey, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. I'm not trying to do that, but I don't think you want me to blow smoke up your butt either. I just want to give you my perspective.
Let me just say, if you're going to ask John to look at your store, he's going to be completely honest. He is the most honest person I have ever met, and he will tell you straight up how it is. He's not going to be rude and disrespectful about it. Well, maybe to some people, but for his loyal viewers and the people who give him the opportunity to do what he does on a daily basis, he's not going to come at you with disrespect and being rude about how you run your business.
Right.
But he is going to be honest. If he feels that you could be better at some, let's say taking pictures, or if your item descriptions are, vague or what have you, he's going to say, hey, I think you could do better here or here or here and here. You have to be able, if you're going to ask somebody for their opinion, then you need to be willing to hear it.
And also just one caveat, there's a lot of drop shippers, I guess, outside the US that like to watch my channel, apparently watch these lives. Yeah, I can't help you if you're drop shipping and you're trying to figure out why you're not making money. What I talk about here on this channel isn't really conducive to drop shipping. So sorry, I can't help you. There's people that tell me they drop ship outside, they're outside the US, they sell in the US, they drop ship, and I really don't have answers for those folks. I just can't. I just really don't. They're running at low margins.
We don't do drop shipping anymore.
It used to be, but it's just not. It's not worth the juice isn't worth the squeeze. Honestly. Now, Blithering Rando says you don't need a huge store to sell. I've listed 280 items total in the last 2 months, and 160 of them are sold. Quality items and listings are important. You're right.
Very important.
I've maximum 750 items is the largest store that I've ever had at all on eBay. And I think at that time I was just trying to get more items listed, and it was more of, to me, I was almost falling into that trap I was telling you guys not to fall into. It's not about the number of items, it's about the value you put in your store. And I think a lot of channels will tell you, list this many of items a day, eBay wants you to do all this stuff. But the more, I think Bling Bling Australia, Carolyn, she sent me a link about a month ago of eBay execs in Australia talking about you don't have to list every day. And, it's something I do. I do make sure that I have drafts so I can list every day. It's the habit of mine. But eBay wants your attention. It wants to see activity. If you're taking a day off and you get messages about your item and you're not answering those messages, I really think that hurts your account. So you have to be on top of your store as if you're there, even if you're really not. Semper Fi says my sales picking up and have enough inventory to last a long time. So no need to buy for now, but we'll buy if necessary. Yeah, the more inventory you have, the less need or less desperate you seem to be. I've been there where I'm almost out of stuff to list, I'm like, oh, I need to find some stuff.
That was scary. He got down to one tub, and I was like, what are we gonna sell?
Biff says the people soliciting a YouTuber for free advice are already in trouble. No offense to YouTubers. Well, I mean, look, I'm the kind of person that will be like, hey, I'm doing well.
But we're not just YouTubers. We're real people running a real business.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm trying to put on some kind of a show for you guys. It's just the way it is. I'll come out and be honest, and I will get people that'll roast me in the comments for it. Just the way it is. I've developed a thick skin over the last 3 years of doing these videos. It used to bother the hell out of me. And it still kind of resonates with me. I think about it a lot, but really, I'm always open for advice. I'm always open for constructive criticism. If there's something I need to do better, I'm always trying to get better. And my hope is that people that, do reach out, maybe just want another pair of eyes. Hey, I might be doing well, but how can I do better? That's who I really want to help is people who are just maybe 1 or 2 tweaks away from really optimizing what they're doing. So that's why I make the videos that I make. The Scrunal Octopus is in the house. Morning, everyone. Hope all are well. Good day there in Australia.
Good day.
And Gail says, hello all. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving.
Yes.
It went pretty well. And we went to a Christmas light show. It's
called Enchanted Las Vegas.
Okay. Enchant Las Vegas. They had it at the Las Vegas ballpark, which is the minor league team for the A's.
It was so cool.
It was pretty cool.
It was so cool. Our granddaughters were in love.
Yeah, we took some B-roll and stuff.
I mean, it's thousands and thousands and thousands of lights.
Mm-hmm. Very cold.
Cool.
Very cold.
It was so cold.
And I don't get cold, and it was very cold.
It was so cold.
Georgia Mountain Girl says, I would love to find a great source for items. It's out there. Somebody had mentioned to me that, they don't have a way to really source the way that, I talk about, but you can look up OfferUp. You can look, I think the Neighbors app, Facebook Marketplace. these are places people are trying to get rid of stuff. And even now, if the weather is fairly decent, I wouldn't be surprised that people are having yard sales even this weekend coming up, just to move. They need money. Maybe they want money for Christmas. Maybe they, figure, let's have a yard sale. Let's see what happens. And I found a bunch that maybe 20 that were listed in the Vegas area, which is about half of the norm. And then as I'm driving around, I see other yard sales that weren't even posted. And here we're going to have earthquakes again.
Sorry. The terrible chair.
Yeah. Just back up a little bit just so you don't hit the thing. Okay. So it was, I'm sorry. I just don't know what that is.
It's war. It's war.
It's war. Then what? Gazafar? I don't know. Toys and collectibles are steady. Had a better Black Friday than last year in sales, but I had heavy discounts and sent a lot of offers. And again, I guess I could say that sales were just a little down, but again, it's about scoreboard. I don't care how many items I sell. I don't care how many bags I fill up. If I'm looking at trying to fill a certain number, and it's just trying to keep, that's how I keep score. I don't know how you guys keep score, but it's about the money, how much money you're bringing in. Picky Ricky says, I'm selling 4 a day with 1,500 piece store. I got to pull out the crap this year. Yeah, and don't know what you're selling. It just really depends. I mean, just to put a vague number, if you're an everything seller like me, it's usually one sale for every 100, maybe 125 listings a day is kind of the average. And then for, your clothing sellers, it's actually a lot lower than that. No One Design says, I think everyone should watch John's last video he made. And I just I just got through reading an email from someone, and I said, you know what? Keep getting these emails, and I think I got to talk about this. So I went out and made the video, and it's like what, 3,000 to 4,000 views in the last couple of days, and that's a lot for my videos. The one I made yesterday.
The one I watch?
I think so, yeah. Because you don't watch my videos. I can't
keep up.
She doesn't watch my videos.
Yes, I do.
Tommy says, I say if whatever you are doing isn't working, keep doing it. Eventually it may work someday. Or it may work to get you off the platform.
Or it may never work.
Processes, I think the only people that are determined to make reselling work will stick with it and find a way.
That's right.
Yeah, and there'll be a void to fill on the folks that just can't cut it. There's going to be a void to fill. Those sales that they would have made are going to go to someone else. Savage Picker says the upside to slow sales at this time of year is more time for family and festivities. Also good time to evaluate your business model going into the new year.
All true. All I agree.
Yeah, and not a sponsor to this channel, but was watching another channel, and I decided to go with a program. You guys know that last year or earlier this year, GoDaddy bookkeeping sort of went away, and I'm going to use my reseller Genie and give them a shot and plug stuff in and see how that works. Starting to get ready for tax season next year and just getting the numbers plugged in and stuff at the end of this year. So that's kind of what I'm doing as well. Not sure if it's vintages in the house. So thanks for hanging out with us. Let's see. Picky Ricky says, well, I made 668 pounds profit last month. Prosser after all it's said and done, but I need to survive if honest. Everyone does. Everyone needs to survive. And, eBay is just one means to that end. That's why, like Ed was talking about going on to Posh, making more sales on Posh. Those are folks that probably wouldn't have bought from him on eBay. So it's just looking at options, maybe getting those items in front of more people. And that's why, I talk about Prime Lister and doing that stuff, getting your items in front of more eyes. And I can tell you, when I was at 750 items in my store, just in the summer, I brought that back down to just around 500 before, I started building it back up again. And those 250 some odd items that I, sold were because I put them on Poshmark and mostly Mercari. And in putting those items on Mercari, I think I made an extra couple $1,000s in just sales that I wouldn't have. And this is stuff that wasn't going to move There's another element to when you sell everything, a lot of stuff from Amazon pallets, you're up against a lot of the Amazon Chinese sellers that will undercut the heck out of you. And a lot of those people are drop shippers, and you don't have that kind of stuff on Mercari. So check out the link in the description if you want to check out, Prime Lister, or maybe getting your items in front of more eyes. Maybe that'll help. It's worth a 2-week try, if anything, just to see if it works for you. Let's see. There are a lot of insane people reselling. I agree. Hopefully you don't think I'm one of them, but yes, I agree. Ed Bay says, finally caught you live. Thanks, Ed, for hanging out with us today. 3 p.m. Pacific, 6 Eastern, Mondays and most Fridays, if we can make it work. Tommy says, the bottom line is John just loves getting thumbed. What the hell? Oh, thumbing it. I love it. But the upwards thumb. I don't want the sideways thumb. Oh. I don't even know what that means. Okay. Ed says, some people don't like the real talk. They want to be fed the happy part, and that's it. Forget your feelings. This is the hard truth, and it's awesome. It is. And it's,
I feel it brings out the better. It makes you strive for more and do better at what we're doing. You need that third party to come in and say, hey, let me see how I can help you and how I can help you succeed.
Yeah. Drew says, I don't know if it was good or bad. It's my first Black Friday as reseller. My sales have been way up last few days, so that's good. So that's awesome. So you'll use this year as a benchmark for next year. Hopefully things will get a lot better between now and next year. Georgia Mountain Girl says, how often have the other resellers changed up their choice of inventory, stop selling A, then move to B? Well, I sell everything. So it's sort of, I jump back and forth between different things. When I go to yard sales, I still look for electronics. That's one of the things I kind of gravitate towards. Also, my eye is now looking at shoes where it wasn't before. And you just learn what works and what sells, and you just gain that experience. And the stuff that doesn't sell historically, you try to stay away from.
But the big advice I can say is don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. If you're selling A for 6 months and it's doing well, but it could be better, add something to it. Add another, add B to it, and let's see how that improves your store and your sales, and see where you can go from there. And eventually you'll have a C and a D, and maybe that works.
But if you are niched where you have, like, I'm just focused on shoes, right? And you're doing well with shoes, just stick with it. If you can niche a store and maybe, okay, I got a bunch of other things, it might be just better to make a secondary store. I mean, just something to consider rather than, because see, here's the thing. When you have just one kind of item in a store, you can then build a customer base like I was doing in the other store where we're selling the collectibles and stuff. And you can build a customer base and they know to come back to you for, let's say in Tommy's case, shoes. Tommy has a bunch of shoes that he's selling. That's all he sells. And they had a good experience and they can come back and get shoes. But if you happen to buy a pair of shoes from an everyday seller who has everything seller who has pretty much everything, they bought a good pair of shoes and then they try to come back to you and they don't see you have any shoes that's their size or anything that, of interest, they're probably not going to use you as a way to buy shoes again because you just aren't reliable in showing them that you have consistent stock. So it's hard to build a customer base when you have an everything store as compared to a niche down store. So it just depends on what you're able to get. If you can get a constant supply of shoes, then I'm all for it. Or let's say necklaces or whatever you're selling. Oh, geez, gold necklaces. Here we go again. Drew says, I sold more everyday health and beauty than Christmas jewelry and gifts. Is that weird? I don't think it's weird. I think it kind of fits. I think it kind of fits into what I've been talking about. People need health and beauty. They have certain needs. And I think was it Noah Design or Biff Boffo on my last video said something to the effect of people, I think Biff said this, people will justify their wants as needs. Yeah, you're right. I've been many times try to justify to her why I need a new driver at the golf course, why I need something. Yeah, they'll try to justify. But if someone is in the position where they can't pay their bills, are they still going to buy that collectible item because they feel it's a need? Or is it really going to kick in that, well, I can't afford it and maybe next time? And I'm wondering if that's kind of the case, with that type of item, wants versus needs. Picky Ricky says, I can't stand people who only want to hear positive stuff. Reminds me of 1930s Germany when I see people like that who don't want to hear anything bad. But hearing bad things make you feel bad and make you kind of worry about your situation.
It can't be all bad, but it can't be all good.
Yeah.
You have to have a balance.
No One Design says, I love those reality videos, John. It makes sensitive resellers leave the platform, and I'm all for that. In fact, I'll cheer you on while you leave because I support failure. Also, thank you. I appreciate it. And I'll just have my motivating eBay videos, and I won't be an eBay seller. I'll just be one of those channels that don't sell on eBay.
Yeah, we won't have an eBay store. He'll just do eBay videos because that's what
I'll even keep the sign up. Yeah. So yeah, I'll be doing other things. I'll go get my 9-to-5 job and come home and make my eBay motivational video for you guys. Prosperous says only people that are serious will take that hard truth and turn it on its head and make the right moves for them and make a positive, not just get upset.
I agree.
Ed says the interest in my savings account isn't going up. No, it won't. Tegan says your YouTube must help with your income. Correct me if I'm wrong. We're talking, a few $100 a month, and it's not a whole lot. Now, if you want to build up, make it a thing, then you're talking over 50,000 subscribers, and I got to tell you, it wouldn't be bad for that to happen. I'm trying to make money too, just like you guys are. And I figure that the time that I put into these videos, I do spend a lot of time. I spent my yard sale Saturday yard selling. I had the GoPro on, but I didn't have a very good, I think I was off by a tick on the camera angle. So it didn't quite come out the way I wanted it. So it's just a learning curve. And of course, I'm walking around with that darn GoPro on, and I'm sure people are looking at me like, who the hell is this guy? Uncomfortable as it was. So maybe I get a better deal without it on, but on some things. But for me, I spent a lot of time on this channel, and I think that's worth something. If I help people out, that's, made my day. But one thing I won't do is, okay, I'm not making enough, and I'm not, going to just settle for whatever YouTube gives me. I'm going to start charging people $40 a month or $200 for my program. And that's just shady. And that, you guys know, I've always felt that way, and I'll continue to feel that way. Let me get caught back up here so I'm not reading the same comment.
You just went way back up.
No, I went there. Sarah says, I'm busy shipping out my holiday weekend sales, 28 going out today.
Good job, Sarah.
That's awesome. Let's see. Not out of my comfort zone, but never really gave it much thought. Now doing it for 2 years. I have my inventory that turns monthly, some weekly, and can source the items all the time. Savage Picker says consistency is key. Tegan says, I always buy motorbikes in the winter and snowmobiles in the fall. It's completely backwards. But I hood on snowmobiles. I'm sure you meant something else. All summer. Then there is parts starting 2 weeks ago. Let's see. Mark Suddick says, hi there. Hope you both had great Thanksgiving with family. Great to see you both back again. It's very appreciated. Please keep up the helpful work. All is best.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Let's see. Tommy says, Ed, what in the world? 2 sales with 1,500 listings. I thought he had 2,000. Maybe he took some down, but I saw he had around 2,000 in his store. KB Flips says, yard sales have been good in Sarasota area of Florida. Been very busy for sure. Need to expand my comfort zone. Disney stuff has been abundant. Yeah, people love their Disney stuff. And I pick it up whenever I can, if it's reasonable. Wendy says, I'm doing some sales, nothing high costing, but at this time, low sale is better than no sale. So it's still ticking over. At least you don't be a millionaire working from home. Yeah, no one, I mean, not many people. I'm sure there are people that have huge operations with employees that can tout that they're making millions. But really, when you're just one or two people, you can't make that kind of money selling online. It's just, unless you're buying in huge bulk lots, putting them up on Amazon, maybe your own brand, that kind of thing. And then that's a little different story. But going to yard sales, buying liquidation to resell on eBay, you're not going to become rich. I can promise you that. Ed says, I stopped being consistent, Tommy. A lot of unexpected life events have been happening to me that it stopped me from being consistent. And that's true. That's life. And I think I talked about that on a video before, where life is going to get in the way. You're not going to expect it. So the drafts that, I try to put up in my on the app is sort of my vacation time or my sick day, so that if I'm not feeling well, or if something comes up in passing during that day, I can list, 4 or 5 items plus, and eBay is going to see that constant activity. So, whether it's using your editor and doing a bulk edit, going in, I did a video I'm going to put out tomorrow about adding your business policies and, changing business policies around, that kind of thing. Doing that kind of activity, eBay looks at that as you're working on your business, and it doesn't know what else you have going on in the background. So I really think you just got to be consistent with that. And Tommy says, doesn't matter. You have 1,500 listings. No matter what anyone says, activity does nothing. Well, I mean, it is what it is. I can tell you that I'm not the only one that feels that way. You provide consistency. It's going to. Now, eBay is not quick to see, oh, he's not consistent. You might still get sales on a day you don't do anything. But, give it 2 or 3 days with no activity, and it's going to catch up to you. And I'm not the only one saying that. Drew says, including Friday, Saturday, Sunday, 120 sales total, 2,700. So yes, that was good, because it normally takes a week to get these sales numbers. So wow, that's really good, really good. And I just lost my place. Isn't that wonderful? Okay. Gail says, I had decent sales over the weekend, have had a small customer base to sell to. The pinball clientele woke up. That's awesome. SM Postcards says, postcards have been fine. Normal roller coaster. Oh, okay. From one Sagittarius to another. My birthday was Friday.
Oh,
awesome.
Happy birthday.
And then Archie's is this weekend. He said the 4th.
Oh, it is?
Yeah. So
you should come have some tamales.
Yeah, he doesn't want no tamales.
I can't believe you didn't come and hang out with us on Thanksgiving.
Ed says, I'm at 2,000 listings, but about 1,200 of those listings are auto accessories that are not in high demand. I still haven't gotten rid of my bad shoe pickups. Well, just sometimes you just have to look and take each of those listings and figure out what the market is and just blow them out under market sometimes. That might work. Shame on you. It doesn't look like you got your better half, the queen and boss better chair you promised. No, not yet. Sales weren't good enough to get in the chair.
Eventually.
John, your sales are probably slow because you had that big toy movie promo sale recently. I sell everything, lots of smalls, and when I sell a larger dollar item, eBay slows down the next day or so. Yeah, but it slowed down like a huge drop, and then it built back up. Was pretty good, had some pretty good days, and then it just dropped down. I mean, it was a really great roller coaster design that I've created. I could probably submit it and maybe turn it into an actual ride the way it's designed. It's just then drop and then back up here, but just add some loops and you have a really cool roller coaster. Ed says, it makes sense. Sales are down with the inflation rates. Gas and groceries come first. They do. And people, I mean, unless you got someone that's just nuts, and I guess we can all vouch for having nutty customers, people aren't going to go buy that collectible item if they can't afford to put gas in their car or put food on the table. And I'm just afraid that that's kind of going to be more common than we've seen it. Semper says this weekend, not much for sales, but did sell one toy and 3 movies. I made $15 profit off of it. Wow. See, that ain't going to get it done. We got to find a way to get more sales there. Picky Ricky says, I bought loads of wholesale Star Wars figures and not sold a single one. And we have a lot of toys that we had, like those big tubs of toys that we picked up just for real cheap at a yard sale. I really don't buy toys, especially loose toys like that. But we found a bunch of Elmos and
new wholesale.
Yeah. I mean, I picked up those toys and we try to list them, and we may have sold 1 or 2 random toys. So it's just like, okay, well, I'll just list them when I get a chance. I'm going to start focusing on trying to get things up that are selling and sourcing those things as well. Piggy Ricky says, Mandalorian ain't selling. I'm surprised, nor is Obi-Wan figures. Wasted my money so far. Maybe not. Give us some more time. The Mikey Bow 2004 is finally joining live today. Thanks, Mikey. I appreciate that. Sarah says, it seems like more people are turning to secondhand as inflation rates hit us at every turn, which I think is a silver lining to us, most of us resellers on eBay. And that I think is a good thing. SM Postcards says, Ed, the new eBay hack is you have to have 2001 listings. Maybe it is. But just keep watching folks that have 30, 40,000 listings in their store. And I just shake my head going, wow, that's so hard to maintain. But they're still hitting that scoreboard, $500, $600, $1,000 a day. And that works. Wendy Riddle says, I have 2 similar stores, and on the same day, one store does good, other one does bad. Really is up and down daily. Go figure. I mean, to have the other store that we were running, I think I have 1 item left on there. I just got to get the other stuff off of that multi-quantity listing and get it over to this store. I just don't want to maintain more than 1 store right now. Let's see. No One Design says, here is a tip. Find a category that is a want, but also a need, and price it accordingly. This is a very simple strategy, but hard to comprehend. So yes, find a bunch of Space 1999 items if you can get those and you put them on your store. I can vouch for that. Yeah, if I find any more, I'll be jumping all over them. Tyler's Trading Post says, I've been here this whole time, just been busy, but listening at the same time.
What's up, Tyler?
Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Ed says, it's okay. I'd rather hear the harsh truth than hear the candy-coated reply. And Tommy says, when I looked at Ed's store, his pricing for his shoes was way high. He has shoes with Scud missile holes for what men's shoes sell for, the same model.
Wow. I hope Tommy didn't review your store.
I think he did.
Oh, he did?
I'm not sure, but I think he did. That's my takeaway from him. Pricing is huge for best match. Yes, it is. And so, I try to price mine. I got to keep in mind, look, I'm into these shoes for like $2 a pair. So yes, maybe someone sold the same pair for $30, $40, but am I good with pricing it at $24.99 plus shipping and someone offered me $20? I just took a deal on a pair of shoes I picked up for $2. I sold for $29. They made me an offer for like 22 or something, and I took it. Hey, it's just fine with me. I made, after eBay fees, 8x my money. I don't need to have what market said it sold for 3 months ago. I'm happy with the sale, and I'm not going to wait for the unicorn buyer on it. So I think it's very important. I was earlier today going through a lot of my listings that were about to recycle, and lowered the prices big time on some of those things. Biff says, I know it's high prices without even looking at the store. It's almost always high prices when people don't get sales. And Ed says, yeah, I'm in the high price. I think I'm going to do a 30 to 40% sale to get rid of my old inventory. But, remember, if you're into the shoes for $1 or $2 a piece, then yeah, definitely. If you're in them for 5 to 10, maybe not so much. Make sure you just price them right. Let's see. Picky says, only 2 of my wholesale toys have sold out: Monopoly, Stranger Things, and Retro 66 Batman figures. People are going to buy toys. I think they will. There's still another 2 to 3 weeks of that, and hopefully things will turn around. Let's see. GA Mountain Girl says John should charge for critiquing our stores. No, I just feel like, you guys take time out of your day to come and listen to this dude talk and ramble sometimes. And, at night when Jenna's like watching some kind of whatever she's watching on her phone, and I'm like, let me check.
He was going to throw me under a bus.
No. And I don't know. I don't really pay attention to what you watch on the phone. But I'll pull up my phone and I'll just start going through my emails and Instagram, and I'm curious more than anything. Okay, they need help. What does this store look like? Already in the back of my mind, I kind of have an idea of what I'm up against. But like I said in the video I put out yesterday, I haven't got anyone that's reached out to me wanting to know why their electronics haven't sold. I haven't had anyone. I mean, I can't count Ed because he really didn't reach out to me. I reached out to him asking him about his store. But, I haven't had anyone that's reached out to me saying, hey, my shoe store isn't doing any good. It's always been like collectibles and toys and clothing. And the people that are reaching out like have 200 items in their store. So there's a lot to work on. Once you get up 500 plus items in your store, then you should be concerned if you're not making sales. I mean, if you have a small store, you're going to have small sales. Perfectly Blessed says we all need the honesty, even if it stings. I agree. I've had many people give me honest feedback, and it sucks, but you just got to take it for what it is. And if it applies,
I think that's how we all grow. I mean, I know I do.
Thomas's condition has to be the factor in pricing of the shoes. 100% need to price comps in the same condition. So when I'm doing comp pricing, I'm actually sorting out the new if I'm dealing with a used shoe, and just looking for, just again, I'm into these for such a low price. I just want to find a medium, not too low, not too high, like right in the middle is kind of where I want to be. Sarah says we need that honesty. We're here to make money, not to feel good. Yeah, feel good once you cash in your money, right? That's how you keep scoring this game. You feel good when you have your good sales days. Picky Ricky says, mind you, I barely got out any of those Monopoly and eBay as people I know wanted them first. Yeah, you get a lot of people. How many people have people come over your house because they know you're a reseller and they start shopping? Have you ever had that? That's just annoying to me. And then like, what do you want for it? Well, I got it on eBay for, 15 plus shipping. Okay, I'll buy it. But okay, that's fine. I don't mind doing that because, you don't have to deal with eBay fees. But then they start wanting like package deals and stuff. It's like, no, this is for my business. I can't just give you, like, especially when family comes over. It's like, they see something they like, but it's like, do I give it to them or do I say, look, this is like a $60, $70 item. And this is my livelihood here. So I don't know. It's kind of, maybe I'm wrong for feeling that way. Wanda says, I've sold since 1998. I've similar. Okay. Old listings. I list a minimum 5 items daily and hold store-wide sales. I have over 13 grand in value with 1,000 plus items. Q4 has killed me. I won't renew my premium store. So I just don't know what to say. A lot of it could be you just the items that you're selling that we're selling just fine, maybe right now are just not getting the sale. And that's the obvious thing to say, but maybe things will turn around. But add other items to your store, different kinds of items to supplement the stuff that's not moving. Let's see. Tommy says, yeah, I'm at 350 listings max, 1,000 solds, $80 ASP. Work smarter, not harder. And you just got to have that source. You got to have that source, and look for ways to get more of that. And like for instance, that lady I bought all the shoes from, I know she still has those Jordans. She's never contacted me. I do need to contact her and to say, hey, look, if you found those Jordans, I want to buy them. So she had said she had about 150 pairs. And I said, look, I'll give you $300 for them. And she said, okay, well, let me get them and I'll let you know. But she's never reached out. I'm from Canada, so Sainsbury's, but I do sometimes find good deals off Zavvi, and they ship to me for cheap, even if they're based in the UK. I've never heard of that. Bling Factor, Australia woke up to an item not received case this morning. Buyers waited 10 weeks to say something. Tracking never scanned by post office, so probably going to be out $178. Well, that's horrible. So they didn't scan the item in. So you want that initial scan. That's your protection, especially if you've insured it. And like with US, I think if you buy the label, the priority label off of eBay, it's like the first $100 is insured. Tommy says, not a chance answering messages matter. 22 messages today, haven't answered one. I answered 3 messages in the last 4 days. I do recall seeing that the execs in that video that I was sent, they did say that you do want to make sure you're on top of your messages and interacting with your store. That does have not a huge. See, Tommy, here's the thing: you're killing it. It's bottom line. If you're doing what you're saying you're doing, you're killing it. So right. I've seen people with absolutely horrible feedback, but they have stuff that people want. People return and buy these items, and they're like a 96% positive feedback, just getting negative after negative, and they're still making money. So it all boils down to really what you're selling. And if you have the right kind of stuff to sell, all the intangibles really don't make a whole lot of difference. But if you're one of those sellers that have high competition, you don't have the greatest items as it is, all these little things you do better than your competition's doing will make a small difference in the long run. I'm a firm believer of that.
Hey, everybody, hit the thumbs up. Let's go.
Yeah, appreciate that.
We got 121 people up in here.
And I don't see, and I don't want to click on, I'm on StreamYard, so I can't see how many likes we have, but like the video, guys. I appreciate that. I'm full. My local Walmarts are full of price glitches, and Amazon has some great deals too with no buying limits. Yeah, you gotta be creative. You gotta look for ways to source.
Likes. Let's go. Come on, people. 123. There's 123 of
only
you.
8 likes.
If you really don't like,
wow, that's all I want for my birthday is some likes.
Come
guys.
on, give us some likes.
I feel like I'm begging. Oh well, whatever. Okay. Georgia Mountain Girl says, I usually drive around 200 miles sourcing in one day. I live in the boonies. Yeah. But you know,
I had a feeling she lived.
You can still find some things online. I mean, gas prices are up there. The cost of freight has gone up. But if you find the right deal.
What if you were to take, like, let's say, take a day or a second day and just go into town or wherever is, I don't want to say local because I know it's far for you, but just take a day or two a week or every other week if you can, depending on what you can pick up that week prior, and see how that works out. I mean, I know that's got to be tough. I mean, can you imagine just living in the middle of nowhere and not having any way to source?
That would be horrible. It wouldn't be fun, but you still got the online option.
Yeah.
Ayo Gusto, thank you. Whatnot is a great place to source. Thank you for the super chat. I hear that a lot, and I hear a lot of resellers say that's why they don't like to do Whatnot, because they move their items, but they're not really making a whole lot more than they picked it up for, and that's really not the way to win. Tommy says there's a million ways to source. People just don't want to work hard and get out of their comfort zone. I agree with that. A whole lot. People think this is a get rich quick vacation, and it's not. Yeah, no one's holding you accountable but yourself. But there's another person that's going to be holding a lot of people accountable, and that is when they run out of money to pay for their bills. That's going to be what holds them accountable. Pee Wee Copyright Trademark says, fastest Black Friday sale under 2 minutes. After listing a Hallmark 80s ornament, paid $350 for it and sold it for $160. Yay.
Wow.
And it got me thinking that I thought of something similar. And you say you sold that under 2 minutes. Do you feel like you may have underpriced it? If you may have priced it, say 200, would you have waited a little longer but got your price? And I only say that because I kind of feel that way, and I'm not complaining at all, guys. I'm not. I kind of feel that way about that the Space 1999, $70 to $1,800 flip. I really feel like it sold so quick overnight that just maybe I could have maybe put 1,200 instead of 1,000 on the ship, maybe 700, 800 on the gun, and maybe a couple $100 on the painting or the canvas artwork, and I would have made more money. But at the end of the day, I was happy to get the flip. Was happy. I mean, if I could do it all over again, I wouldn't change a thing. I'd price it the same way, I think. So good on you for making that quick sale. That's what it's all about. Damian D says, clothes have been doing great for me. I'm surprised most people are saying clothing sales are down. Well, see, that's just one of the things that people gravitate to would be clothing. So you really have to source well, get good prices on these items, because you have to be really competitive to get the sale. I don't know what you're selling, what type of clothes you're selling, but there's a lot of people that are continuing to sell the same kind of clothing item and are struggling. So I think it's a lot like Tommy. He's killing it with shoes. I'm thinking the shoes are only okay for me. They're not great. They're not bad. But that might be because he has, like my Christian Louis Vuittons. Those things sold like crazy. If you have good stuff, then your items are going to sell. Let's see. Ed says, how do you see 2023 going for reselling? Like you said in your video last week, economy just going to get worse. It's not good. I'm worried. If I'm just telling you the truth, I'm concerned for most resellers. And if you're killing it in this market, can you just imagine if, the market normalized or was a really strong reselling market, how well you'd be doing? So, the video that I made the other day wasn't to say, hey, my way or the highway, and, I'm right, you're wrong. If you're killing it, I'm the one that's wrong. Just do what you're doing, right? I can't say a whole lot to that. If you're doing well, then that video wasn't meant for you. And shopping with Cheryl says, don't say tax season. Well, they hired 87,000 new employees at the IRS. Well, they will be over time, but they have that plan, and they didn't do it just for fun. That's for sure. Tommy says, there's no excuses in having bad sales. eBay gives us all the data on what sells, how fast, for what, how much for free. If you aren't looking at it, all the data, then every time for buying, you're failing. And a lot of times people have, like, for instance, I like to look at the comps, right? The 90-day comps. Now, that doesn't tell the whole story, but if you're at a yard sale, you're in front of an item, and you don't really have all that kind of time to do every bit of due diligence to find out if that item is going to sell for you. You got to make a quick decision. And sometimes people are, they're like, okay, if you're a reseller, and I don't know why people do this at yard sales, but they feel like if you're a reseller, you're not going to get the best deal. I don't think if you look like some guy who just needs a new pair of shoes, they might be more willing to give you a better deal. I don't know, but I just use the comps. Maybe I'll step away, I'll look it up, and then I'll kind of come back to that item and try to buy it. But that's really all I do at a yard sale. I just don't have time to be, I got on Archie's butt, Biscuit Butt's butt, about we had looked through a yard sale. We're all going to the different ones together. We're waiting for Archie, and he kept going through like all the little, he's looking at some Stephen King books, and I'm like, I'm going to the next one. I can't wait for you to investigate this book. Midwest Picker says, not selling sweatshirts like I usually do this time of year. Are we keeping you up?
I'm sorry.
Okay.
I don't know why I'm so tired. I'm freezing.
Purple
I'm
Cactus
so cold
Sales
right now.
says, we really enjoy your videos. Continue what you're doing. Thank you. I appreciate that. It's those kind of comments that really make me want to get out there and just make more videos. So thank you. I appreciate it. Sarah says, I would be lost without Prime Lister. It's really cool. It has some features that I think other listers don't have, like the one thing that turned us off of Poshmark was just the idea you have to share your stuff, play that stupid game, share closets. Is that you can just go and click a button and she did that, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of, she does the Poshmark stuff still.
It's set up automatically. All I did was go in and set up the parameters of how I wanted it to be done, and I don't have to do it.
Tony resells. I just started buying pallets off Amazon. Any advice new to channel? Thank you. Well, thanks, Tony. Find a
Tommy
manifested.
says, get a big dumpster, Tony.
Oh, wow.
Tommy, you're brutal.
Okay, couple things. If it's non-manifested, if it's not manifested, it's a crapshoot. So you're going to have to. Maybe you'll find some good stuff in there. I believe it or not, I've been looking at some 20-box lots that are not manifested. That again, I've had good luck with the seller to kind of get some of the stuff that I'm used to getting in the store, looking for the right price. But okay, the stuff that isn't worth your time, you want to take a bunch of boxes if it didn't come with like decent sized boxes and put them in those boxes and put a Facebook marketplace ad up for the stuff you're not willing to mess with and move it for 100 to 200 bucks, depending on how many boxes you have. People will buy that stuff up, take it to flea markets or maybe even put it on Mercari, and they're happy to have it. I've had a lot of people made hundreds of dollars just liquidating my liquidation. So pick from it. That's what the middleman does before you get it.
We've also had some people who buy those boxes off of Facebook Marketplace they want to know what is in it. And a lot of times it was clothes in the beginning. And I found out that those people are buying those items to send to their families in other countries that don't have the ability to get the kind of goods that we have here.
Mm-hmm.
And so they will box them up for their families and ship them to these other countries.
Yeah. I got a big announcement to make, guys. In 2023, I'm going to finally start selling on Bonanza. I'm if it's not extra work, I'm just going to go in and open up an account with Bonanza and just link the darn thing over. Why not? So then I can say what I think about it, because I keep talking about Bonanza as being like this like wild, wild west of just nothing.
Is Bonanza a European thing or a UK?
It's just it's like what Big Lots is to Walmart. So maybe that's not that. Maybe that's actually given Bonanza a lot of credit. So if you need something at the store and you have a Walmart and right next to it you have a Big Lots, you're probably going to go to Walmart first. Maybe some people hate Walmart, but I'm just giving an example. Okay, you have a Target and a Big Lots. That's probably better. You have a Target and you need some stuff at home, you might go to Target first before you even think about going to Big Lots. And that's kind of what Bonanza is. It's that second. People don't even think about it as a real place, a real serious place to buy their goods or buy whatever they need.
I don't know. Is this an app or a website?
It's a site, but I'm going to, just for its and giggles, I'm going to do that. Let's see. Flippin' Goody says, what do you do if the same item sells on two different platforms? A cross-listing without automation is dangerous. So here's what I do. I don't even bother cross-listing anything off of eBay to other sites until it's been on my eBay store for 30 days. Okay. That tells me that it's safe. Go ahead and cross-list it on other sites. I'm going to be doing the sell similar anyway and tweaking the listing. And it's only happened like once or twice, if the same item is sold like within minutes of each other, actually it was maybe a couple hours of each other and I just noticed it, eBay wins. Okay, because eBay will hurt your account by canceling an item due to out of stock more than Mercari. I have cancellations on Mercari. They don't hurt you like eBay will. So unfortunately, you have to say, go in and just say there's a lot of different reasons, can't fulfill it or whatever on Mercari, and then just move on. But with
130 people watching.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome.
Wow.
But eBay wins almost every time. And you know what? I feel bad for the people who bought the item, but I'm taking my emotions out of it. It is what it is. The faster you resolve it and don't let it sit there, don't let it sit a day before you decide what to do, because those people could have been shopping for whatever they were needing. And maybe in 2-3 minutes after they bought it, you realize it already sold. Go in there and cancel it so they can, move on and buy. Also with Mercari, it closes the transaction. They can't leave a negative feedback like someone can on eBay. I'm always thinking about account protection. You've got to protect your account on eBay because nobody else will, and nobody cares why this happened. It happened, and if you don't sell a lot as it is, it's going to hurt your account more than someone who sells a whole lot. It says I was on another live, and the host is part of the daily refinement reselling program, whatever it is, and he knows I cross post, said that I'm wasting my time and just focus on eBay. But he can't really speak to what you're doing because he doesn't really know 100% what you're doing. Everyone's situation is different.
And if he's a part of that reselling program, there's a reason why he's there and shouldn't be giving advice.
Picky Ricky says you need to find a good mix of sources. I do charity shops, cash converters, retail arbitrage, and wholesale. They all have something to offer. Yeah. Seems like everyone who's in that program seems to agree that cross-posting is useless, which in my opinion, it's not. It's not useless if you have stuff that's not selling on eBay because you're up against high competition. Right. Like a lot of the stuff you find in those Amazon pallets are in that category. And I guess they sell for $30, but if no one's buying my item, if it's such a saturated market, but yet here I have Mercari where there's no drop shippers and I can move it. I'd say 90% of the stuff I sold on Mercari over the last 5 or 6 months has been stuff that just won't budge on eBay. So just something to look into. Let's kind of get caught up here. Tommy says, no one sells some items on eBay and Amazon in their right mind. Well, I do. I think I'm kind of sane. I sell both.
That's questionable. Yeah, but you did that because we had bulk.
Yeah, but I also have other things. I list those FBA, but I also do FBM where it's so easy to list. The listing's already there. You just got to piggyback off it. I think it's
the certain types of items and the quantity of items that you have of those things that makes the difference.
Shopping with Cheryl says, how do you know if you should list on eBay or Mercari or Posh, or do you list everything on all of them? So Mercari is kind of a little of everything. Poshmark, now they have other things, but Poshmark has really been known for their clothing and shoes and accessories and things like that. Yeah, you can list like appliances, electronics and stuff like that, but
houseware.
Yeah, but we just stick with clothing and stuff that we have. We have some clothing that's up. Mostly shoes that we do on that, and eBay is pretty much everything.
Our 300 plus combat boots that we have, we've sold quite a few.
We're about down to 280 now. Yeah,
quite a few on Poshmark.
Bling Bling Factor says real gold chains sell very well if you can source them at the right price. I can never get enough.
I want some gold chains.
All right, well maybe Carolyn can give you a good deal on that. Okay. Picky Ricky says I love selling remotes. It's a neat item like printer inks. Both are a must for me. I have a bunch of remotes in this this big tub of like electronics that I picked up for like $10, and I kind of just not even really wanting to mess with them. Maybe because they're only like $10 and they don't really seem to be anything special. But maybe I'll need to revisit those items. I just want to move away from stuff that's not going to get me, much return for my money. Purple Cactus Sales says, we sell collectibles and toys. These are not needs, but have been on eBay for 14 years. Sales have been great. Great items will sell. Well, this time of year, people are still buying gifts. Yeah. And when I say people aren't buying the wants and they're buying the needs, that blanket statement isn't true. What I mean by that is, the trends are trending towards more people buying the needs over the wants. Now, you still have people buying the wants over the needs. You guys know that. One viewer, John, had come out and said, hey, by your own example, you sold that Space 1999 thing for $1,000 plus the gun, plus all that other stuff. And if there wasn't a market, then, people wouldn't have bought it. So there are people out there that are buying items, that are buying collectibles, but it's just you're competing with fewer buyers, or for fewer buyers, with more sellers for fewer buyers. and it's just going to become a lot more difficult to get the sale than it ever was, in my opinion. No one designs says YouTube does not pay enough to make a living. It's the affiliates that brings in money. Yeah, a little. You got to get the right affiliate, though. I agree, though. At worst, I just had to refund an $85 remote that got lost going to Mexico. I think I'm done shipping there. Yeah, I don't know if I ship there.
We don't.
I think it's not one of the countries we ship to.
No, we don't.
Let's see. Shopping with Cheryl, I have a bin of remotes and was going to just toss them as I have no clue what they go to. No, use Google Lens to identify what the remote is. Get their model number.
The battery thing. Open that up, and that should give you like a model number.
Yeah, so put the model number in. That's one way to figure it out. Yeah. Kind of getting now down to the nitty gritty here. No Agenda 77 says, I guess I'm lucky. I've been shipping internationally for a couple years with no incidents. Knock on wood. Yeah, it's bound to happen.
Knock on wood for you.
Yeah, particle board. Yep. Yeah. Piggy Ricky says, I paid £10 for a box of remotes, threw the ones away that didn't work, and listed the working ones for $256. Now, is that in a lot, I wonder?
It sounds like it.
Here's a bit of motivation to think about. I'm a welder, tin knocker by trade, no college, PhD, master's, only trade skills, but I saw e-commerce was an opportunity and jumped on it and made it work. That was 20 years ago.
Tin knocker?
Someone who knocks on tin. I don't know.
Come on. What is a tin knocker? Tell me in
No design. If this roughneck can play this reselling game, then you younger, smarter folk can do better. Yeah, you just got to get out of your comfort zone. I think that's what a lot of people are stuck in their comfort zone. Tegan said, that's crazy, the amount of small items a lot of you guys sell to make a couple $100. I don't know how you do it with my average sell price per item is a few $100s. I applaud you. That's good. I mean, if you have items that are high,
have the source,
less work.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Georgia Mountain Girl says, how confident are you picking up electronics when you can't fully test them before purchase? Well, if the price is right, I'll take the chance. I'll ask to plug them in when I ever get, a lot of times they'll offer to let you plug it in. I bought like a pet vac, like a car pet vac, and I know those go for about $40. The guy was selling it for $3, and he said, I'll plug it in for you. He plugged it in, it worked. So I picked it up.
And if they don't work, they'll sell for parts or repair.
A lot of times. Or you could just do, parts repair. Wasn't able to get this to work. There's people out there pretty good with electronics that get stuff to work.
Yeah, you'd be surprised. There's some stuff that we think is broken beyond repair, and people buy it.
Lisa H says, what advice can you give a small seller that doesn't have a store yet? It was going pretty good and then stopped flat. Used to sell years ago. What would it change? Well, if you get up over 100 listings, it's probably time to get into the basic store, because that gives you ability to add a coupon, add the markdown sales to your listings. And I think that does for me, it helps a lot. So I would look into that. Thoughts on Goodwill bins? One just opened 30 minutes away. I wear gloves. And, you'll find some stuff there, but
it's a hit or miss. There's going to be days where you're going to find stuff, days where it's going to be a total miss.
And don't run into the same mistake that we did. We found a lot of stuff, and they were heavier stuff items, and they charge $1.69 out here a pound. And so $1.69 a pound, you have a full cart. It turned into $100.
I kept saying to him, this weighs too much. And he's like, oh, it'll be fine. Yeah, well, he paid for it.
We haven't been back since, but nonetheless. So just keep that in mind. John, if one of the eBay reps sent a request for me in regard to using available funds to make purchases, told them to remove having to close account when you backed out. Yeah. So yeah, that whole thing is, I think it's still in there. I haven't looked at it since, but the idea that sign up for this so you can use your funds immediately to buy stuff on eBay. And if you want out, you got to close your eBay account. No thanks. That just doesn't make sense to me. Joyce McGraw says, okay. Hi, Jerry Ann. This is Joyce from Ohio. Love your channel. Who's Jerry Ann? I don't know. Maybe I missed something, but hopefully you like this channel.
Maybe she's talking to somebody.
I don't know. But
hi, Joyce from Ohio.
Yeah, hi, Jerry Ann.
We're happy to have you.
The Mikey Bo says, thank you all for what you do. It was helped me immensely. Started eBaying in March and had my best day-to-day sourcing. Found several $100 books for a couple bucks. Yes, and get those things up and maybe even send them into Amazon. I know a lot of people at those Goodwill bins, they look for those books and they send them into Amazon and just set it and forget it. You don't have to do a thing once you send them in other than just, mess with your prices. Danny Nafo says, Tommy, 30 days ago, you said something like, try promoting at 5.9 and see what happens to someone. So I said, what the heck? And did my sales up 125% these last 30 days. So thank you.
Wow.
And it was at 2.2 before. Yes, because when you're at 2%, you're down there with the folks that are playing they want to pay as little as possible.
Minimum.
And you can't have that mindset. Picky Ricky says, I've been throwing most broken ones away lately. Don't want the trash in my store. You don't want that in your store. Bearded Poke Tuber, that's the way I do it, Tommy. I'm in 225 listings max with around 250 sold, $32 ASP. Not as impressive as yours, but it gets the job done. Yeah. I think there's nothing wrong with that. If you have more items sold than you have listed, then you're on the right track. Ping G says, but Cheryl slated she is a new seller, so she'll have the limits on listing. So a waste of money if she can't list that many items. Just because the execs say you should do something doesn't mean it is in the algorithm. In most cases, they're just saying have a good customer service and answer messages. But let's just think about it. Okay, put the algorithm aside. If you have someone that's looking to buy an item, okay, and they hit on your listing and they're asking you, hey, can you tell me, does this whatever, right? Like I had a receiver I had up for sale. They said, how many channels does this receiver have? And for whatever reason, I didn't have it in the listing. So I found the answer and I replied back to them within 5 minutes. You are going to have a better chance to make that sale, to secure that sale, if you get back to them in a timely manner than if you wait overnight, send them the reply. Chances are they're buying, they're meeting that need or want right now. They're looking for whatever that is that's going to solve that problem, that immediate problem. And if maybe they'll give you 5 minutes to get back to them, 10 minutes. But if they need that item right now, they're probably not going to buy it from you. And so it's a little bit more than the algorithm, but yeah, I think you're right on. There's some executives that have never listed in their life, but on this particular video, they were talking about different myths and stuff like that, and what they said made sense. Let's see. Wanda says, I sell everything except electronics. I'm in a tiny 2-bedroom apartment and live in a storage unit. It seems I'm in a wheelchair. Can't get out of for more inventory. I'm just disappointed. No defects. Well, try to source online if you can. That I don't really have another alternative because you don't have a large place to deal with like pallets. It's going to be harder. One person did say in here, try Whatnot. Go check out some Whatnot auctions where people are selling maybe things that you have sold before and have some experience with, and see if you can get some good deals, because they usually start off like at $1 or $2. And if you don't have anyone bidding you up, you might be able to, snag some stuff that you can source and have it shipped to you. Guys, listen to Miss Nina Debrov, mom, and hit the like button or she'll take John hostage. I think she already has.
He's done.
Jen, I go on a senior discount days on Tuesdays. Is brutal spending your whole day driving?
Okay. Yeah, no, I know.
What about the senior
driving
discount days?
Thing? No, I don't know anything about the senior thing, but I do know a lot about the driving thing. Yeah.
Tyler says, I made 2 more sales this week. Makes me happy to see eBay messages say I have sold a listing. Awesome. Mark says, don't worry, you're liked and loved. Well, thank you. I appreciate that, guys. Charles is getting a lot of lowball offers. And Mike says, hi, John and Jenna. Just get home and missed a lot of the live, but I'll surely do a rewatch. Just dropped off 13 sales at the post office. Pretty good day. How are you all? All good.
We're cold.
Yeah.
Well, you're probably colder.
An update.
But we're cold.
an update to my carrier situation. She came to that 1 week. Last week, she didn't come. I'm hoping she was on vacation, but where is she today? She hasn't come. Knocked on the door. I didn't put him out.
I did.
Did you put him out?
Yeah.
Well, the dogs were barking kind of earlier, so maybe she did come.
Do
So,
you want me to go check?
yeah, go check. I think we all want to know. I want to know because that means I have 25 minutes to get to the post office if she hasn't. As the clickbait king says, you don't need to get all the money. Who is the clickbait king? Want to know that. A lot of tire kickers out there, especially nowadays, have stopped selling locally because people are just wasting your time. So much worse after COVID. Yeah. John and Jenna, I use Goodwill auction to source designer purses. I do well, but wondering if anyone else sources from the auction. Maybe it's a good place because there's not a whole lot of competition for that item. So Wanda, that might be another place to look. Never waste time with offers. Probably half of my messages now are people lowballing me on listings I don't even have best offer on. I've got 5 items that are still waiting for payment. Yeah, and only one of those was on an auction. I auctioned all my Christmas albums. I had like 24 left that I didn't sell. And I almost don't want to deal with this guy. I almost want him to go away and not buy it because I looked at the feedback that he leaves for people, and it's pretty nasty. And it's like, can't cancel it just yet, but I'd rather just keep the records myself than get his $35 and have to deal with that craziness. Let's see. Tiffany says, I make a habit of liking as soon as I get on. I know it's important. Yeah, I appreciate that.
Thank you, Tiffany.
That helps the algorithm. We love algorithms here.
Wait, what did Sandra say?
I'm trying to get through.
She did not come.
Oh, gee. So I really need to hurry. Sandra says, I would love to source better for purses other than TJ Maxx and Marshalls. I'd like to take a jump, find more purses in liquidation. Any thoughts? You're not going to find a whole lot of consistent liquidation.
And not high-end
If
purses.
you want purses in liquidation, go to macy'sliquidation.com and you're going to find better stuff there that way. Tommy says, women's running shoes do amazing for me on Poshmark, over 100 pair per month easily.
Wow.
That's awesome. Even in the winter months, like right now, because I have a bunch of those running shoes and I've been sort of not putting them up, but maybe it's time. Bonanza's USA.
Cool enough outside to run.
Yeah, I'm from Canada and all my customers have been from the USA. You aren't going to lose. It'll be auto cross list all your eBay items. Okay, we'll give it a shot. Bonanza and True Gather are free, easy, no work involved. Maybe get a couple hundred per month on them. Okay. Emporium, etc. I was on Bonanza last year for a while. I had trouble with item specifics not transferring correctly, if at all. Had to double check everything to make sure everything went through. Some listings will glitch, but you'll get extra views of Google. That's where Bonanza will market your items, and you'll get those few extra sales for no extra work. Okay. Piggy Ricky doesn't cross list. Everything goes on eBay except the breakable, which I put on Etsy. The only other customers I ever had on Bonanza that wasn't on the USA was from the UK, so they must be getting there. Sure won't be as good as if you're in the USA. So okay, so I'm sold. Okay. I'm going to give him a shot here. Danny says, I think you need to watch less of those doom and gloom YouTube channels. You're obviously being not really good. It's just news.
It's real life
news. I mean,
I'd rather know, yes, he can bring some doom and gloom, and I tell him to stop watching so much of it. However, we knew about the Rona before the world knew about the Rona. And had we not known that it was coming and it was going to be what it is, then we wouldn't, we watch a lot of things to be prepared. This isn't the world we used to live in 20 years ago.
Yeah. And again, it doesn't matter what side of whatever aisle you're on. I'm an independent voter with an independent mind, and I look for information, and it's not hard to find. And I'm not finding anybody on YouTube saying how great this economy is. I don't care what channel it is. And I'm going to try to prepare myself. And honestly, the sales speak for themselves. I'm not getting great sales. My average sell price is down. I compared it to last year, ran the report for last year. I'm selling different stuff, but at the same time, my listings, the number of listings I have in my store are up, that kind of thing. What are you looking for?
He said tin knocker equals metal fabricator.
Tin knocker. Okay. It's not if you have a metal desk and you say knock on tin. No. Okay.
I knew it wasn't. I didn't think it was.
Meanwhile, I just finished crawling under my car, installing a block heater because it's going to be a 10 under tomorrow.
-10.
Yeah, 10 under 0. Woo! Wow. Yeah, and that's another thing. Just dealing with a lot of people who aren't going to be able to heat their home. I think that's another problem too. But let's see. Kent says my sales got shut down yet again starting on Thanksgiving. I was selling 5 to 8 items a day for weeks with 355 items in my store. So I guess, everyone has different stuff. Everything that they're dealing with is different. So what Tommy's dealing with might be great, and you're dealing with just nothing, right? And you're thinking, wow, I mean, 5 sales must be nice to get 5 sales, let alone 10, 20 sales in a day. And everyone's situation, sourcing ability is just different. And I think that for those of you, and even myself, if next year I'm still running into this rut, it's time to maybe look in a different direction as far as what I'm selling, because I think sourcing is at the heart of all this madness. And if you fix that, like it's obvious Tommy's done and some others, if you fix your sourcing, everything else falls into place, in my opinion. And so that's what I am working on. I've been working on, I was happy to get those shoes, and maybe those shoes will still work out. But right now I just have to feel like I have to feel the way I feel. I feel worried, and hopefully things will get better, not just for me, but other resellers, because it's not fun having to tell people that, you may not be cut out for this, and the economy isn't going to support a small seller who isn't willing to put in the effort. Whereas maybe they can get away with a few sales, here and there that they're not going to see because they just don't have the right stuff to sell, or they're not involved in their account, that type of thing. So, for me, it's just yet another sign of how sometimes flipping ain't easy. And hate to kind of cut it short, but the lady never came and I have to get to the post office. I mean, that's all I could have asked for her for my birthday, is to pick up my stupid packages. But nonetheless, you guys made my day today just by showing up. We had 120 something people here with us today. And
no, we had up to 132.
Yeah. Okay. So we had a ton of you guys with us today.
We had a lot of you, and we thank you.
Yeah. Thank you for hanging out with us. And really, really mean that. You guys make this channel what it is. And you know what? I'm not always going to have all the answers. I'm not always going to be right. And sometimes you guys are
not always going to be doom and gloom.
Yeah, but you guys make this channel what it is, and I want to thank each and every one of you guys. So thanks for the well wishes, everyone.
Thank you, everybody.
Have a great rest of your week, and you'll see some videos out here very soon, and hopefully they can help some people out. So take care, everyone.